Yeah,
Shakalaka.
yeah, it's happening. All right.
Uh,
All right, everybody. Welcome to Richard Island.
it's Richard Island, bitches.
That's where you're at right now. So this is the podcast where we rate every single Magic card ever printed, and we
Or at least the ones we want to talk about.
exactly. We haven't talked about all of them yet, but eventually
Bear with us.
they
It's
will
coming.
they will all be on the list. They're all slated, right? Like everybody has applied for the visa to get on the island.
We're just slowly going through the paperwork.
Exactly. You know what I mean? You can't admit all the cards all at once. That'd be a really long discussion.
Yeah, the Republicans would have something to say about that.
Yeah, we got to break it down into bite-sized bits. So every week, Chad and I bring you, Chad and myself, Anthony. I don't know if I said my name.
I am Chad.
And we're going to each bring a card to the table for admission to the island. And then once you arrive on the island, you are ranked against all the other cards on the island. And then currently, number one on the island.
Sitting atop Richard Island.
The king. I'm happy to say it. It's Yokolops.
Yokolop.
Not even that, but look at that. For all you people who didn't watch the first episode, you don't even understand that we're pronouncing it properly. Somebody's going to write us and show us how not properly we're pronouncing it. Some Icelandic guy is going to be like, my grandfather's last name is Yokolop, or whatever it is.
And we're not even going to understand this email because of all the dots over the vowels.
That's right. Okay. And then currently, unfortunately, even with only 4 cards on the island, there has to be a last card. And the last card currently is
the last card, the worst card ever printed in the history of Magic that we've talked about so far is at a portion of the list that I cannot seem to scroll to for
I
no
remember
reason.
It. Should I go for it?
It's Distortion
Strike. Yes. All right, Distortion Strike. The sorcery level, unblockable, rebounding, +1/+0, with a crazy crab person on it.
And as befits Anthony, the worst card in the history of Magic currently is blue. I feel like, maybe that might change. We might get blue up a little bit higher this week. Is that something that might happen?
Yeah, that's right. Because this week, the card that I am bringing to the table is Mechanized Production. Yeah. Wow. All right. Mechanized Production. For those of you who aren't in the know, Mechanized Production is 2 and 2 blue. It is an enchantment aura. And it is a mythic rare from the Aether Revolt set. And it says, enchant artifact you control. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of enchanted artifact. Then, if you control 8 or more artifacts with the same name as one another, you win the game. All right. And the flavor text, which despite all that rules text, we still have some flavor text, is give me 8 walkers. I give you the city. Dovin Bond. All right. And it's a picture of a giant walker, and it's illustrated by our man, Mr. Adam Paquette.
Yeah.
That's the card. Chad, what have you brought to the table?
Well, through the magic of Magic website Scryfall's random card, what I have chosen is a card from the specifically from the printing World Championship Decks 2000. This is a special gold bordered card.
Ooh, bling,
why
bling.
Gold bordered? God knows. This is the card High Market. It is a land. You can tap it to add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool, or you can tap it and sacrifice a creature to gain 1 life. And it has flavor text. If it can't be had here, it can't be had on any world. Illustrated by Carl Critchlow. And it is literally a market that appears to be high off the ground. A little bit of a special note about this. This is from World Championship Decks 2000. And with the championship decks, they also print the original set that it came from. So the set marking on this is Mercadian Masks. Mercadian Masks is one of the last set markers that, or set symbols, that I remember seeing a lot of, and I was just like, oh hey, that's cool. This card now means something to me. I can associate it with a time in my life.
Yeah, right. It's yeah, because I think like a lot of Magic players, there are, you know, I think everyone has taken a break. I mean, there's probably some dude who's been jamming the cardboard for like since he's like since '93, bro. You know, and it's like, all right, well,
Since day one. Day one. All
all
right.
right. So here we go. Looks like I'm attacking first. All right, mechanized production. How's that on the name?
I mean, it produces machines, does what it says on the tin.
It's an okay name, right? It does do that. It does produce machines, but it's mechanized production, and this is an aura.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I just feel like that's a little bit like
Mechanized production sounds like an artifact that makes more artifacts.
yeah. So that name does bug me a little bit. It's not a the name itself is not a hindrance. It's not something you make fun of. It's not totally dumb, but it's like it's a little bit of a miss. But it does describe the card's action, so it's not a total miss. So I don't know,
Three.
maybe like a 3 or something on the naming scale. Yeah, it's not one of the
Yeah, it's a 3 for me.
it's not one of the totally awful ones. So that's cool. And then let's see, uh we got the casting cost here.
Casting cost, 2 blue, 2 uncolored. It is right in that little 4 area where there's a ton of competition.
Ooh, 4, man. You better give me something good for 4 mana. And a 4 mana do nothing.
It's trying to give you something good. It has the words "win the game" on it,
This
but
card,
it's win the game in a while.
everything on this card is an ask.
Hmm.
Right? Including the casting cost. It does give you a little bit, but but almost everything else is an ask on this card. So it's like I think it's casting cost is included in that. I'd say it's casting cost is I'd say it's probably fair. It's not good. It's just probably fair.
Yeah,
All right. So
fair's like a 4, I think.
yeah, 4. Not in the top half,
Hmm.
but just enough to keep it average. And then it's enchantment aura. This was definitely a ding
Yep.
on this one. I did not like that at all. I'm giving it a 1. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I think auras, generally speaking, are going to get a 1 every time.
Yeah. Oh, that you don't like the aura thing too, or there.
No, here's the problem. I love auras. I
Mhm.
think auras are great, and I fall for it every time. And I'm just like, oh, this is going to help a lot of stuff, and I get 2 for
Yeah.
1 constantly.
Yeah. No, they in order for this to be a boon, I this thing would have had to exist in a world where the fact that it was an aura was a bonus to it
Hmm.
in somehow, or they would have to figure out a way to make it do that. And to me, that it isn't. So I don't think it's type is a bonus. I think it could have just been a freestanding aura or an enchant. It could have been all kinds of things, but I don't like that at all. It gets a 1. All right, cool. And then
In terms of like how much of a drawback aura is, in terms of like the kind of dumb shit that I fall for.
yeah.
As soon as I read mechanized production, the first thing I thought off the top of my head is like, oh man, imagine if I put this on a helm of the host. And then I could just create so many copies of things. It'll be amazing.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Yep. And it does fucking nothing.
Oh, that those two don't work together.
No, Helm of the Host is a legendary artifact.
Gotcha. Well, there is an interesting one, uh, and people are going to be shout at me, but I know there is something that makes copies, and even the copies can be legendary. You
Well,
know,
the thing with Helm of the Host is the creatures that Helm of the Host copies, you can copy legendary creatures and it's okay.
that's what it is.
But making legendary copies of Helm of the Host, you still only get one helm of the host.
Right. So you're only going to ever get 2 a turn. You can't like somehow multiply. Yeah. I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah, you
They
can't go exponential on this bitch.
You can't host the host. All right. Gotcha. Okay. And then let's
Rules
see.
text.
Well, it was printed at Mythic Rare.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I
does
I
this?
like I like having you win the game effects at a very high rarity.
Yeah, I actually like this rarity too. I don't think it's a powerful Mythic Rare,
Mm,
but I think that being a limited player, I'm very grateful that I'm not seeing mechanized production all the time.
yeah.
And that's another thing that rarity can be used for. Rarity is not just like how expensive is this card, because this card is not expensive. Right now you could buy for less than $4.
Mm,
So no big deal. Get yourself a foily one for 7. It's not crazy expensive, despite the fact that it only has one printing and it's a mythic rare, right? It's just because this card power wise isn't super high and demand isn't super high. It asks a very specific thing from you. Not every deck's going to want it. It's probably not played in modern. So I think the mythic rarity actually thing doesn't hurt it. I think it just makes it more playable in formats like limited. So I'm actually gonna give it some good for that. I think the rarity is, I give that like a 5. It's like I like that.
I was gonna give it a 6.
Okay, cool. All right, 6 for Chad, 5 for me, and then let's see the rules text.
Has the words "win the game."
That's true. That, you know what I love, like maybe it doesn't all fit together perfectly, but just looking at the rule text itself, like I love it. I love that. I love that you have to control 8 things and you win the game. It's this alternate thing. It's you know I like this rules text a lot, actually. So for me, this is part of the reason why I chose this card, is because I like the rules text. So for me, it's like a 6.
7 for me.
Oh, look at that. Chad loves win the game cards. All right.
Yep.
We're gonna have to bounce back, but that's okay. 2, 4, 5. All right. Next is the flavor text by Mr. Dovin Bond.
Flavor text is fine. It's a
Uh,
5.
it's a 5. Okay.
Yeah, because like I get it. You win the game if you have 8 of the same thing, and he says, "Give me 8 walkers." But it's like if you were if he's like 8 of anything, and I'll take the city, then it's
Right.
like, oh, that's exactly what this thing does.
Once again, Chad, you use your logic and reason to help me see how these flavor texts, when upon the reread, upon the analysis, right, the scores don't hold. At first I'm like, 8. I see the number 8 and 8 and 8. And that just makes me happy, right? But you're right. It's like he says 8 walkers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a level of scrutiny that you don't always have to apply because the text is very flavorful. That's why I put it on the upper end, in the upper 50% of our scores, because it is flavorful. But I feel like this is one of those things where it's just like it makes you think that it matches up better than it actually does.
Yeah. And here's another thing. I will say this, because once again, under scrutiny, this is another thing. It's like Dovin Bond's supposed to be this really precise guy. He's supposed to be able to see the flaw in any system.
Mm,
That's one of his like special powers, right? And here's the thing. He says, give me 8 walkers. He doesn't say give me 8 or more. He's
yeah,
like, I could do it with as little as 8, but if you gave me 10, even better. He doesn't say that in his quote. Quote Delvin Bond, give me even better, bro. He doesn't say that. He says give me 8. And the card itself, you know what? It doesn't ask for exactly 8. You can bring 10 walkers and Dovin Bond wins,
yeah.
right?
I mean,
So
to be fair, uh, if you give Dovin Bond 10 walkers, he has 8 to go and take out the city.
that's true.
Like he
But
just has 2 that are just sitting on their dicks.
I would love to see Dovin Bond like just reach across the table and just slap that guy who brought him 9 walkers.
Mm.
He's like, did I stutter? Did I? Does 8 sound like 9 to you? And he's just like, and then he's like, what's the difference? He's like, what's the difference? You don't know the difference between 8 and 9? Is that what you're telling me? You don't know the difference? He's like, wouldn't 9 be better? It's just like, if 9 was better, you don't think I would have asked for 9? You don't think I would be like, give me 9 walkers? I'll take the city really good? No, I said 8. I can just picture him getting real mad about that. So I'm going to stick up for you, Dovin.
Now I want to see Dovin Bond played by Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
8, motherfucker, 8.
I know. Oh Jesus, these people, it's like the rule designers aren't even listening to him. He said 8 walkers.
They know how to count in Dominaria?
Yeah, yeah. Or more. I don't think they understand the difference between the equals to or the greater than or equals to. You know what I mean?
Too many weird symbols.
Exactly. You don't need that carrot. Just the straight up equal sign. Give the Dovin what he wants. All right. I'm gonna be mean here. I'm gonna give this like a 2.
Wow. I dropped that shit hard.
It's making me angry now on Dovin's behalf. No, but how do you feel? What's up?
Yeah, 5.
Okay.
Because I still
right.
feel like it is flavorful. It is just not as flavorful as appears upon first glance.
For me, when I picture the performance, right? Like, I'm picturing like Dovin Bond as played by Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, okay.
And I just picture Daniel Day-Lewis getting that it says on this, give me 8 walkers. Dovin would have never said that. He would have said 8 or more, please. And and Daniel Day would have thrown that line back. But okay, 2, 6. All right, cool. Now the actual art itself, laden with all its Adam Piketty goodness, that gets an 8 for me. I just it's going to, because I got to give this guy props for rocking on with his thing. I'm going to look into more Adam Paquette art. It gets
7.
gets the 7 from Chad. All
Nope.
right.
I'm holding up 8 fingers.
Oh,
Never
8
mind. Fuck
fingers.
it.
Okay, Chad held up 8 fingers.
I counted wrong. It's an 8 now.
You committed physically to the universe 8. It's because it was what was actually in your heart.
Yeah.
So
Like, I wanted to ding him for that tower in the background, only looking tower-like and not like an actual human penis. But in the end, the heart wants what it wants.
okay,
And
so
that's
now
large phallic-shaped items.
all right, and last but not least, the printing of this. This was the one I chose, as I typically do, is the Aether Revolt printing. That is the only printing of this card. So I don't know if it enhances it.
It looks fine.
Looks
There's
fine.
nothing like particularly special about the printing.
Looks fine. So that's a much more relevant thing on other cards like
Yeah, I'd
yours.
say it's like a 4, I guess,
Okay.
because it's fine.
Should I tally these up now, or should we wait?
Let's tally them both up at the same time.
Okay, cool. All right, going into high market here. Going
You
down
know
the
what?
line.
I'm kind of surprised that we didn't make any jokes about the high market being a place for weed.
We can get there. We're there
Yeah.
right now because we're talking about it. It's the name of the card. What do we rate the name of the
It's
card?
the high market. High market is, I don't think that the name is that great, honestly. It does go with the illustration showing a market that is physically higher than the rest of them, but I don't see any reason why this is a particularly better market than anything else.
Yeah, I think they wanted this ability on a land, and it just kind of fit in, because I guess there's this whole like Mercadian, the bazaar and the trading and this and
Mm.
that, and this whole like commerce kind of theme to it, right? These, and I could kind of see that going on, and then if you look at, I mean, I know we're not judging the flavor text, but it says if it can't be had here, it can't be had on any world. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I mean, it would be more.
You're selling it to me as like this great place where you can get amazing things, and all I'm getting is a dead creature in one life.
You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's like so that's what I'm saying. Like the name doesn't really match with the card. It seems like a high market would be more like something where you could trade some sort of currency like mana
Mm.
for more cards or something like that. Like that could be a hard market. Something like maybe like a fair library of Alexandria. No, that'd be more like a library, but like a market is something where you can trade one thing for another, right? You can trade this
Yeah.
for that or this, like kind of the way they did trading post on the artifact, right? It's like
Mhm.
you can gain a life, or you can pay a life to get a goat, or you could sacrifice the goat to uh, bring an artifact back from your graveyard, or you can sacrifice an artifact to draw a card. It's just, it had all those different things. Like high market, I mean, seems like it could be one of those cards where you barter one thing for another.
Yeah, like if I was just designing a card to be called high market, as in the best market in the world, where
Mm-hmm.
you can get anything you want, it would be some sort of tutoring concept, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Maybe some kind of tutoring concept. Uh,
Like maybe tutoring something out of one of your opponent's decks.
or it would have been great had they just gone the total Rastafari, you know, kind
Mm,
of thing, and that would have been great. You know what I mean? And then maybe it could have been like sacrifice a land, gain a life, or something like that. I don't know, or who knows? But yeah,
burn a forest.
high market is kind of like a two, maybe
Yeah,
like
yeah,
yeah,
two's good.
two. It's not a total. It doesn't anger me, but
Mhm.
it definitely has. It's not, aside from it being a land, it's not really getting us on card name
Yeah,
there. Okay, so casting cost,
it
perfect.
has
Look
no
at that.
casting cost. It's an 8.
Wow. You know what? But it's not a true zero because you're limited to one of these a turn.
Yeah,
But you're right. But it doesn't even have a casting cost. So, that's a hard thing to rate. If we rate lands, what do we give them on casting? I mean, it is
I kind
zero
of feel like you have to give them either an 8 or a 0 for not having a casting cost.
to rate, or the fact that it doesn't have a casting cost. I mean, okay, in the case of this card, I'm going to look at it on a card by card basis. And uh, the casting cost for high market being a land and zero, or not being, it's tight, but it's the fact that it's zero for a land, I think is a fair rate. And I think it's good to have a card like this that's like uncounterable, because I think that's what people are looking for. They're looking for free to use, uncounterable, and difficult to interact with. Like they don't
Mhm.
want, like, this is the one part of your, what I notice about combo strategies that use things like that is, um, like, you want something that's difficult to interact with for these pieces, so you can spend your time protecting your other pieces.
Yep.
So I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna say that this is like, I'll give it like like a 7 for its casting cost. I think that's great. I mean, I'm not like, it's not, if it was a counter spell at 0, I'd be like, wow. But yeah, I think this is definitely worth it, and definitely good. It's good at land. And what would you want to give it?
8.
Ocho, boom, you did it, high market.
Yeah,
All right.
like I said, man, if it has no casting cost, I feel like it has to be an 8 or a 0.
And you know what, land is appropriate for this effect too. So
Mhm.
like, once again, it's like, it's good, but it's not, I don't know if it's an all-time banger, but it's, yeah, the fact that if this was on a zero casting cost artifact, I think that would have been fine too. It might have been a little bit too powerful, because that would have been like ramp, right? Because of
Yep.
the colorless mana. So it's like, I think this kind of effect, yeah, you want it on the land. It's pretty good design. I'd say this is like, yeah, this is fine. That part of the card, yeah, like a 7.
Mhm.
All right, and then what did you say about the land?
Oh, the fact that it's a land, that's a 7.
Okay, all
Hard to
right,
interact with.
yeah, okay. It was originally a rare. How do you feel
Uh,
about this card at rare?
as a rare land, it feels kind of like, ooh, like you would open up a pack and see that this is your rare, and you would just be like, ooh, I wish that I had something that did more. But
Yeah,
I feel like the effect that it has, knowing now what we know about sack outlets, I think that I would say like this is perfect as a rare 6.
yeah. I mean, I really don't. For me, I don't like that rarity, just because it's like, yeah, it's good now, but this card doesn't need to be scarce.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh no, everyone got their cheap copy of High Market for all their whatever decks. It's like I don't. I think that
I'm just thinking about like imagining sitting at a draft
yeah.
and then uh having like four copies of these floating around at uncommon.
No,
It
you're not gonna.
feels dumb.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but four might be a lot. Let's say there were two,
Like two is fine.
right? And like in almost every Mercadian Mass draft, right?
Yeah,
Not all of them, but like in most drafts, you'll have 1 to 2.
yeah,
And then like but like rares, they don't even pop up every draft, right? So it's like that's why like this is kind of I've drafted this. I've drafted Mercadian Mask, and let me just say that this is not a card you're hoping to open,
yeah.
even at that time. So it's just like for me, this rarity is really angering. So I once again I give it on the rarity. I'm gonna give it like a. But this is so harsh. I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay.
I don't like that. I don't like that rarity. I just don't. What do you want to give it, Jen?
Uh, I, like I said, I think that this is fine. Although you have talked me down. Originally, I wanted to give it a 6, but I'm going to give it a 4 now.
Oh, okay. Boom.
Like this is acceptable.
Yeah, acceptable. Let's see. Okay, going down the line, we got the fact that it's text. The
Rules text.
out of color list, tap and sack, begin a life.
Yeah, I mean, uh, if it was a mana of any color, that would be better. But things are what they are, and I think that this card does a good thing at what it does, and I'm going to give it a 6.
Yeah, it's gonna look. I think this card is gonna be a strong holder on its part in its area of the list. You know what I mean? But it's not gonna be a strong overall like in the history of magic cards rules text, right? I
Hmm.
think I think in its section of history it's a strong player, but like I think of the all for me when I think of all-time cards that make me feel good, I'm excited about this or that, like so that's why like its rules are okay. So like for me I think its rules are probably like a 3, not bad, not actively
Yeah.
bad, but like I don't think it's all time crazy. Like I think this is an effect you will want,
Hmm.
right? That's why I'm not giving it like a 2 or 1 or something crazy like that. But I think that like uh there are other things out there that just definitely have me more excited when it comes to rules text. That's just unfortunate, but like I said, I think it'll have a strong place in its area of the world. But sorry, you
All
had it.
right.
What did you have its rules at?
I added it at a 6.
6. Thank you, Chad. Okay, and
And finally, flavor.
how did you rate the flavor
Flavor's fine. It doesn't really go with what the thing is there, but it does like say a lot about the idea
of
of
what?
what they wanted the high market
Yeah,
to be.
at
So
least in flavor.
5.
Yeah, the flavor place. You're right, exactly. It's like what is like if you're thinking in Mercadian Mask, what is the high market? Oh, it's this place where you can find any good. Any good can be had at the high market. If it's not there, it's not anywhere. I like that too. You know what? I like that 5. That's yeah. Like I said, it's cool. It just doesn't match the card, which is
Mm,
why it's not getting a better score. If the because inadvertently the flavor text is always tied to the art and the name,
yep.
right? And even the effects too. Like all these things kind of interrelate. And when there's a not a match, it can I feel like it can get a pretty good score, but like it's not going to get that score when everything is humming top to bottom.
Yeah.
It's almost like scores can boost each other,
Hmm.
right? And then okay, and then okay, the actual art itself.
Showing a market which is literally higher than the rest of the world.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
The it's pretty good art. That's another 5 for me.
It what's funny? I like this style um too. Like there's certain different artistic styles that have kind of popped in and out of the magic world. The artists are very influential in the look,
Hmm.
but there's kind of like I feel like especially when you include art from the planeswalkers or recurring characters, the thing that bothers me about that is like then it's like it kind of has a sameness to it because it's the same character,
Yeah.
right? It tends to, but I like this because it's just like that's a unique place, right? So you're right.
Hmm.
I like this art, even though it doesn't relate. perfectly to all the other parts of the card. This is good. This is like a 6 for me. This is kind of cool. I like, for some reason, I just like little pictures like this because I feel like every time you look back at it too, you notice some like some little small little detail you didn't notice before. And then once again, just
Yeah, it has a real like sort of pencil sketch quality to it, I think.
yeah. And you know what? It's gonna get extra bonus points to me because I'm telling you, the magic oracles are amazing. This one also seems to have a lot of like towers and
Mm-hmm.
dome shaped towers,
Mm-hmm.
in the background. So definitely enjoying the once again the phallic references in the art itself, giving it a more bonus points for me. So this gets a 7 for the art.
It's Dick Week here on Richard
It
Island.
is. It gets another big score. So amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Carl Critchlow, hooking us up with that. And then Chad, what did you feel? How did you feel about the art? What did you give it again?
I believe I gave the art a 5.
Or 5. That's right. Okay. And then last but not least, the printing of it. This is the big topic of this. The fact
The
that this
gold
was.
border, the weird back.
How do you feel about that, Chad?
Uh, that a 1, son.
Yeah, it's a 1. Me too. It's a 1. I'm sorry. I just can't give this printing a good grade. This it is a detriment. The fact it's still a magic card. You are still a card, high market. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But you are the worst printing that a card could possibly have, unfortunately. Even though you're
Like
signed in gold,
I look at the back, and I'm just like, what the fuck is this?
it's the unifying aspect of all magic cards. And when you tamper with that, you really set yourself aside as not being a part of the unified whole. But we're going to count you barely, and it's because of all those things we listed earlier. But we're still going to give you a 1 high market on your scores. Hey, Chad, you want to help me out with a calculator? I feel like, or is a fun feature us adding this in our head?
Start giving me numbers, and I'll try and add it up in my head.
All right, here we go. So going to mechanized production, my score.
Uh
All
huh.
right, okay, we got 3,
3,
4,
7,
1,
8,
5,
13,
6,
19,
2,
21,
8,
29,
and 4.
33.
33. Mechanized production gets a 33 from Anthony. And then Chad, you gave it 3,
3,
4,
7,
1,
8,
6,
14,
7,
21,
5,
26,
7.
33.
That was an 8. That was an 8. No, that's the
Okay,
one
so
where you
34,
and then plus 4.
38.
Okay, so 38. Moving over to high market. Chad, you gave high market starting out with a 2,
2,
8,
10,
plus 7,
17,
4,
21,
6,
27,
5,
32,
5,
37,
plus 1.
38.
Oh, 38. Woo, neck and neck. All right. And then my impression of it was a 2,
2,
7,
9,
7,
16,
2,
18,
3,
21,
5,
26,
and I'm going to combine the last two. 8,
34.
34.
Oh, it's weird. At some point for every card, I said 21, 21, 21, 21, 21.
Interesting.
I
Okay,
might have
cool.
said the same number for like a bunch of other things, but 21 sticks out in my head because blackjack.
All right. Here we are. So we got our ratings. All right. Now we got to do the dirty of placing these somewhere on the list.
All right, so both of these cards are better than Distortion Strike.
Is that true?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Do you feel like either one of them is worse than Distortion Strike?
Hmm. Um, I think probably based on my scores, I think both of these are probably worse than the Starship Strike, but maybe not. Maybe not. Um, let's see. Let's just see where I get my feel. Okay, they definitely not beaten out Starve Extinction, and they're what was the other one we had besides? Oh, Stranglehold.
Stranglehold.
Yeah, I don't like either of these cards more than I like Stranglehold. Um, but High Market, yeah, I think High Market might be better than Distortion Strike, but I think Mechanized Production is worse than Distortion Strike. But I don't know because like it's got so many dicks on it.
I I mean that's a good a reason as any to put it above Distortion Strike, which is a 0 penis card,
Yeah.
unless you are counting limbs as penises.
No, we're not going that crazy. Just
Okay.
things that symbolize.
Yeah. So, uh, personally, I don't want to label an I win card as the worst card in the history of Magic.
That's true. That's true. Even
That's why I think that it goes above Distortion Strike. But I do believe that
no, you're
High
right.
Market is, for what it is, I think it's a better card than Mechanized Production.
Yeah, yeah, that's that. I'd agree with that too. Like, I just think that there's many because there's just many more situations where a player could use a high market.
Yeah, like it is part of a combo, which, I mean, technically, Mechanized Production is also part of a combo, but Mechanized Production is something where you could use it with like a few different types of things, whereas sack outlets are always going to be in vogue.
Yeah, a colorless land sack outlet. I mean, high market might even be better than stranglehold.
Ooh,
Um,
that one is that's daring.
yeah, but you know what though? But once again, it's like I can't do that because it's just like stranglehold is much more of a win. Funny enough, its flavor text was we really didn't like that one in the end.
Yeah,
But uh yeah, but other aspects of that card were just like I said, really interesting. And I think people sleep on that effect, how good it is to stop people from tutoring. Um
and it passes the metal test, dude.
I know, but you know what though? Like high market got like superb scores, and I think casting cost and type
Hmm.
and like the land gives it such a big boost. Like the fact that this is a land, like land in my because it's just so widely played across the Magic world, right? It's like
Hmm.
if you're a playable land, like your value is just so much higher than if you're a playable blue card,
Yeah,
because it's like, or even a playable red card, because it's like, but what keeps it, but to me, below the other ones is it doesn't necessarily have the impact, even though it's more widely played. But that's why I think it's actually better than Stranglehold, not because its impact is bigger, but because it's widely played. And I think the wider play might put it like, I don't think Stranglehold is as widely played in red as High Market can be played across all of Magic.
that's true. And also the fact that Stranglehold, it's that 4-drop card where it's just like, is this going to be useful at this time? Is there something better that I could be playing at this time? Due to the fact that High Market is a land, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
if you get it in your opening hand, it's like, is this the first card that I play? Do I play this on turn two? Do I play it on three? You have all these options for when
Oh yeah, and it
to
and,
slot
and
that in.
and it's still, and unlike uh once again, unlike mechanized production, and technically unlike even like stranglehold, it does something when it comes into play. It produces a colorless mana. It's not
Yeah.
nothing.
Mhm.
It's still progressing you forward on, like, there's some lands that are utility lands that don't count as land drops, but high market does. So it's like, I know this kind of even seems surprising to me now that I'm talking about it, but I think on our list of magic cards it's got to go above stranglehold, even though I don't think it'll necessarily be miles above, I don't think Stranglehold is a bad card. I just think on all timers on the island, I think High Market is just going to come in higher than Stranglehold. Maybe I'll regret that later, but that's kind of where I'm having it at. And then definitely like Mechanized Production just above, probably Distortion Strike.
All right. I am fine with that.
Yeah, all right, cool. So there we go. So we got uh high market, debuting at number 3. Not bad for, if you mean, for a little Mercadian mass land, especially the fact that
Mhm.
we hated it so much because it's the gold bordered version. But even the gold bordered version of this card, I think, will still see more play than Stranglehold, unfortunately. I just think it's a more widely played card. And even though it's losing the Juju points, to Stranglehold. Yeah, I'm still putting it higher. Still putting it higher. That's hard to do, but I am. I have to show some love for my non blinged out brethren who have to run the gold border. I've admitted to it. I've done it before. So, um, and then we have mechanized production debuting at what is that, 5? Not bad for an I win card.
Yeah.
Second to last, but still number 5. You know, there's only 6 cards on the island right now, and you're number 5. That's good. At least you're not. Poor old Distortion Strike debuting at last, staying at last, going all the way down there. All right. So that's been yeah, there we go. Got our cards all set up. So let's move on here to the end step. Where I just like to throw it out here. Like Chad and I are big gamers. We talk about Magic a lot, but I'm just kind of curious to see what Chad's been playing this week.
Honestly, I haven't been playing anything. Still currently doing the move. Um, oh wait, no, I did play a game recently. I was playing Orcs Must Die 2 for about half an hour the other day.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was just looking through what I could play on Steam with my controller that I could just quit at any time if I needed to, and that was the thing that popped up.
that's awesome. I have that game.
I know we've played it together.
Yeah, so it's like it's a great one. Good good variant on like the whole tower defense kind of aspect,
Mhm.
right? Where you
I
can
think I
yeah.
think that might have literally been the second time that I ever played a Steam game with a friend.
Yeah, I just think what a smart game where they allow you to basically like it's it's like a tower defense where you still set up all the defenses, right?
Mhm.
But what's great is you get to be down there on the battlefield, like shooting away the defenders. Because sometimes, like automated defenses, you get really angry at all the stupid things they do.
It's just like, no, why are you shooting at that thing? You should be shooting at this
Yeah,
other thing.
focus your attention on this other dangerous thing, and you can be that focus. And it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's a really fun game. Oh, cool, man. Well, I'm glad you got a chance to play that. My game is definitely not nearly as exciting, but it was new to me, but maybe not new to some of you folks out there who are more tech savvy or more exploratory. This week at work, my computer, my internet was down. All right, and when your internet's down on Chrome, you get a little error message like can't connect to the internet. And if you'll notice, there's like a little dinosaur on the top of that can't connect to the internet thing. Well, it
Mhm.
turns out that if you then, while on the screen, press the space bar, that dinosaur takes off running. All right. And it becomes a little mini game where basically you press the space bar to jump over cactuses and sometimes some low flying birds. And then your other button that you can operate is you can duck with the arrow key. It turns out your dinosaur can duck, and you can just run, and you have to jump over plants and the longer and duck under birds. And the longer you do that, the higher your score. And apparently the game length is 17 million years. So it's a game that will continue to run as long as you can play it for up to 17 million years continuously. So I guess
Oh
it's
wow.
because I think that's the length of the dinosaurs' reign.
Mhm.
And I was surprised at how it got me. At first, I'm just like, oh, okay, that's clever. They put this little thing in here while you wait. And then I got kind of into it. And it becomes like this weird, like Zen focus game where it changes. It gets daytime when you start, and then it goes nighttime, and the colors reverse, and then it goes back to daytime. And every time you hit 100, it'll make an indicating sound, so you don't have to constantly watch your score. You can hear it going up, and you don't get bonus points for anything. It's
Mhm.
just survive. It just ticks up, and the game starts to move faster and give you more difficult jumping challenges as you do it. But it's just cactuses and pterodactyls trying to stop this T-Rex from running. And I thought, like, I was amazed for how simple it is, how many times they got me to play it, and how they got me to still somehow care about what my high score was. Because the good thing is, if you go away, come back, still no internet connected, you play this game again on your same Chrome browser, it keeps your
Mhm.
high score. It
Oh
knows
nice.
it knows what you did the last time you played. So that was my game of the week for sure, as a dino running game. Uh, yeah, like a nice little lighthearted break from intense magic thinking. So yeah, it's great.
Awesome.
We always get to this point, even when we thought we had an ending with the what did you game with last week. So I guess at this point, I guess the best thing to do is just kind of like end step type stuff, right? Like, hey, make sure if you watch this and you like it, make sure you subscribe, give it the like, give it the share, do whatever you do with these things. But yeah, or just definitely leave us a comment and tell us what we got wrong. That's because we love it all, whether it's the keep going or it's the you guys should die in a fire. We're looking for all that feedback, so please please interact with us. um
Just talk to us. Tell us something.
yeah, and then yeah, we'll be coming back.
If you have a message longer than what would be useful for a YouTube comment, you can feel free to email us at zrichardisland@gmail.com. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
The Richard Island at gmail.com, and on all social medias. I will try to maintain that consistency across platform. Look at us for Richard Island. Don't go to Richard Branson's Island. It's a separate Richard Island. All right. I know he's very
Yeah, I don't
rich.
think that there's any rules there.
Yeah, exactly. But come to Richard Island, not Richard Branson Island, and
Mhm.
yeah, for all your latest in Magic card discussion. All right,
Oh,
excellent.
something that I forgot to mention earlier when we were talking about the secret origin of Richard Island.
Oh, that's right.
Uh, you know, the whole thing's an elaborate dick joke, right?
Right.
But we wanted to maintain plausible deniability for the dick joke
Mm-hmm.
by
Important.
saying maybe it's Richard Garfield's island.
Exactly. All islands are Richard's islands.
Hmm.
So yeah, exactly.
But that's not what it is. It's a dick joke.
It is. But and also, Chad and I are from Hawaii.
Hmm. Which is
So
an island.
which is an island where we play Magic.
Hmm.
Richard Garfield's Magic
Yeah.
Island. And here's another great thing too for
We
those
couldn't call it Magic Island
we
because that's a
couldn't
place in Hawaii.
that's right. There you go. Another little bit of trivia there is that we have a um actually that's a man-made peninsula that they call Magic Island.
Oh,
Weird. So yep, another little bit of Honolulu trivia there. All right, cool. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.